So I'm going to have you do the exercises and have you face the camera first. So start out with feet about shoulder width. Knees good and bent. Take the arms, let them relax. Now for the willow, the feet stay planted, but from the bottom of your feet up, everything is loose. So rotate one direction and then back. And your arms are like ropes. And you don't want to generate any speed or power with your arms. Everything you want to come from the hips and the spine. Now, if you turn your hip, you're causing it to whip up the spine and create the inertia. At the high point, you're going to want your bottom hand, or the hand going to the rear, hitting your kidney on the opposite side, like that. And then the upper hand, you want all the way to the top of the shoulder. But without trying to guide it, let it just happen. And let your body turn as far as it can instead of turning. There you go. Just like that. And that's basically the one. We didn't talk about the principles for these things. So we can if you want. Go ahead and face me. One of the things here is that if you get hit here, this is instant. It's instant. So if we're here, my eyes are closed, right? And I get pushed, let it collapse. If you, let's say you do a center push, we're here, come here, right? If I get pushed from the back, the tendency is to do this, right? Which is not maybe good. Because if we're fighting, I'm just saying, hey, I don't want to do it. Some guy pushes me and I do this. But the body tends to, you get pushed forward, your body lifts the head wide. Body's just like the brain, brain off the ground. That's why the chin comes up. Of course, it exposes our throat and everything else. So nature sometimes helps, sometimes it hinders. So just looking at those principles that way. But looking at this, when you get pushed, the best thing to do, because if you get pushed here, step and rotate. And you're taking the movement, taking the inertia, right? If you get square pushed, and you just get moved, the best thing to do is move. Yeah. I had one of my best instructors ever.
I don't know if it went off or not.
Is it still filming?
Yeah, it's still filming.
Just kind of
I guess it just goes.
Probably saved the battery. One of my best instructors ever was Lenny Armour, my physical teacher. He got rid of himself one time because the guy pushed him. He was in a bar. He's there, and this guy's here, and he looks up, and the guy just shoves him. And he fell down. He tripped, he fell. And he was so mad because you can't push me. I don't fall down. I'm a 5th degree black belt, blah, blah. And then it occurred to him, he just got pushed and fell down.
Right.
So that just happened. It just happened. It's all doing it. So the neat thing about these principles is, this is nature. It's going to happen. So, and I don't always dwell on these things, but I have my kids play a game with it. So, close your eyes, keep your eyes relaxed, don't anticipate, right? Just nice and natural. There you go. Okay, nice and natural. There you go. Shake with it when you get hit, right? Just like that. So, natural movement. That's what the willow teaches us, right? It teaches us to bend. Okay. This will occur all in a real natural, soft kind of thing. It can also occur while we're actually developing power. Because if we're here and you throw a punch, I come here, see that softness? I'm kind of curving out of the way of the next thing. Because you're going to do a punch in me or a punch in a kick or something, right? So if I come in like this, I'm real strong. I'll do this. Oh, it's target. So you'll find that when we're bending, kind of moving, see these, I'm soft here. Allows me to be pliable. Over the top. Allows me to move. So you're going to be hard, but this is kind of curvy and soft. So it's just that element. It reminds us that the soft element is there. There's a lot in the willow, but practice that more. Okay. Good. Oak. Things with the oak. Hand rotation like in San Chin. We want to open up. You can turn still the rear rotation. Don't let them fall in. Just keep that extension. You want to open these, not way back, but have a slight tension to the rear. And then rotate one direction. And then all the way back the other. You're starting with your head staying in alignment, that's fine. We're going to go both ways. But start this way, keep it in alignment, feel that tension, back the other way, and back and forth. And what you're going to want to do is let it spring. Do not try to hold it. Try to force it and let it feel it spring back. So you are going to use some inertia here. Now, if you notice your hips are turning the whole time and the whole way, don't try and duck your arms, but go ahead. See the torsion with the torque in the hip? What you can do is when you turn to your right, just do that little bit of that little controlled tension or the torque at the opposite direction at the end. That's going to cause this. And you're going to feel that tension in the spine. And that's how we develop a lot of power with a lot of kicking and even a lot of ground movements. Now take the stiffness out of it and just go back and forth. And the better you get, you'll be able to lock your legs from moving at all.
Yeah, that's tough. It's
very hard because we're so used to, we want to integrate that. We want to integrate that. And sometimes you want to, sometimes you don't. Okay, couple things here. And we're doing rotate that, right? So chamber here, rotate this way. Where you come and you're coming here with your strike. And if your hip is here and your arm is here, you are coiling. Right there's your coil. And if you are whipping, you would have come here and your hip would have come with you. Right? So the willow and the oak show you the balance between those two things. They're not related to the exercise at all, but they are. You have to find out those little connections. Every exercise you have is connected to every other at some point. Right. That makes sense. Yes. Okay, so there's your oak now. Also, you want to keep your head in line with your hips. Do not move your hips, do not move your head. You want to rotate from here to here only. So your head is staying straight, your hips are staying straight, and you get to where you're actually moving with some inertia. And you're going back and forth, and you're going to move some. You're not going to be able to totally isolate it. But the idea is you're learning about the tension. We talked about making power on the punching and walk the wire last night. Think about rotating that punching, right? You rotate your punch. Or the hip is here, and you have tension, and you punch. So, see what I'm talking about? When we're doing the oak, you're coming this way and you push your hip that way. Feel that torque? Same way, if you have, when we talked about this, you're maintaining this pressure here, right? So you're taking your upper body backwards. You're maintaining this here. That's your coil, as well as you're making power from your rotation, but you're not losing your hip. Because once you rotate your hip out, so if you've got any pressure here, that's when you use this principle to maintain your base, maintain your strength, and you're still getting that rotation to develop all the power you need. Okay, now the opposite side of that is that, you got that one? Opposite side of that is I'm here, right? So you take your head, arm up. What you're going to do is you're going to take this and pass it and bring your hips over. Pass this. Work with your hips. Rotate your hips, body, everything. Take me past. Take me down. And then bring. So what you've done is you're taking that motion, taking that power, and then delivering it back to me.
I still see, even with the, even, this is rotating hips and torso, this is rotating torso, even rotating hips a little bit more, I still have the tension.
True. Yeah. And that's going to be from here to here to your foot pin. Yeah. Okay? Yeah. So the willow and the oak are connected to your mata finger. They're connected to your foot picking time. They're connected to your punching. They're connected to when I'm dealing with this, am I going to take that power and give it back? Right? Or am I going to sustain this sustain this, and then develop my power here.
Right. Kind of essentially to make it grade school for me, I guess this is 2, not 1.
Our foundations are based in grade school. That's where how everything else works, right? That it comes from that. So it's fine.
Yeah.
You play with that, you're good. Come on. This is about pressure and about the body split here. If you rotate everything, your heel can come up, everything else stays down, and you push this way. Push as far as you can. Pull as far as you can. Can you pull farther than you can push? Sure you can. So you learn your limits. You want to stay joint and take it the other way. Right? And if you're pulling and pushing equally, you don't get a lot of this. And that's teaching you how to balance the two sides. You don't have to lift your heel, but if it does, it's fine. You can bend your knees more, you can do it straighter, you can change your angles. When you want to work your breathing, breathe out when you go back. Empty. You breathe in as you're coming around and then out. Nice. One of the other things that this teaches us is about the connection here. This is connected to this, whether we want to bend or not, right? When you go to hit me with that hand, they're connected. They have to be connected, right? All right. So think about that. Yeah. When you're doing this.
This is the left side connection.
Yep. And here is your lock between the two. Here's a cool thing. You fix that. Right. Back up. Okay. Relax. Grab here. Okay. Strong grip. Right? Now, if you don't let me out, it's going to take X amount of strength, whatever, for me to get out. Okay, so see how hard it is for me to get out. I want you to chamber this hand. We're going to drop the elbow, over the shoulder, tension, 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 tight pull. Grip me as hard as you can. You see it takes so much effort to get out. Look at the difference. You got it right. That's what you got in the hand. So, this and this depend on each other always. Now we're here, right? You're going to punch. This here, I'll go down, forward. This gate's locked. This gate's locked. This is stable and strong. This unlocks. This loses stability, gains freedom and speed. It's a balance. This is all connected, right? So when we look at movement, and we look at striking, blocking, whatever we're doing, it's one. They're not separate. It's 1, 2. We can hit. Right? We can hit simultaneously. We can parry. Right? We can cover, whatever. But they rely on one another. Thinking of them as separate entities, we'll just think it through. It's a process. Chew on that. So when you're doing these exercises, you see people do things like this and this, right? Right? The reason this is so strong is because this is so strong. Because if I do it here, it's weaker. Even though it's stronger and stable in movement, it's slower. So there's a balance. There's always these give and take. Is that good?
Yeah, absolutely. It makes good sense.
Good. Right? And then now we come into boxer, right? So face your camera so you can kind of see. Relax. You just go through the motion nice and easy and feel the punches. It's an elbow, punch, punch, elbow, elbow, punch, punch, elbow. And you'll find as you get smoother movement and you're seeing and feeling every punch, you cannot say it as fast as you can do it. I've tried.
Elbow, punch, punch, elbow.
You can move way faster than you can say it because that's that disconnection of dialogue in your head. Remember movement from here and practice from here. The lizard brain, the puppy brain, and however you want to look at it. That's like this. There's no conscious thought. Now you said technique must occur in the absence of conscious thought, right?
Yep.
He wasn't talking about a spidey sense.
Right. For system one. System one brain. It's the intuitive, reactionary.
And if you don't have your basics, if you don't have your foundation, you don't have that. Everything is generated here. And when it doesn't, if you don't have a basis for it, you operate on panic and instinct. Have you seen these guys in their fighting? The Fred Edish, I call it. From the first UFC. Right?
The Fred Edish.
That's what I call it, the Fred Edish.
Yeah.
No, lizard brain. Everything was always processed on the surface.
That's right.
So you want to have that intrinsic. So now, remember all the things we covered about this. The hinges, timing. Yeah. You couple that with understanding this one unit. You couple that with the ground, the breathing. All of these principles apply to all four exercises. It makes it a study. And you study your movement and you pull and you extrapolate out from there. Oof, great. So, anything about the hinge? You want to I can show a couple things just on the basics and kind of read everything. So face camera, right? So you rotate that way, come to me and then bring the elbow, right? Rotate that way and then come back elbow. So this is the elbow, okay? And I feel pretty good because I've got it slack. That's with this parameter here. If you continue to push, you're strong, you can push through and maybe gain an angle, right? Because now where's it going to hit? It's going to hit here. To hit me, this is your fulcrum, right? This is actually your hinge, right? So it's here. This has to change in order for this to have range. But if you bring this one this way, hinge here, and hinge back, you know what? You have this. Withdraw your total. You also have that hinge, right? You have this hinge. You have this hinge. But even without that, just the hips. Okay. Yes. You know what you've done is you've taken that, because if you continue to push, I know where this is, I know where the range is, I know where this is going to hit. But if you push through and hit that way, right? Pull away. Yes. Instant range, instant strike. Because I'm comfortable here, I've stopped that elbow. Now I have it. Right there. That's that disconnect. Lucchini is wonderful if that's what your goal is. Right. But if I'm trying to strike you, you block me, and you're here, and I push through, you got me. I need to change. Right? So where did I hinge? Where did I hinge? Here. Right? If I try and go around, what do? You track me. Okay? If I come off here, just enough to get rid of your pressure. I'm coming here. You came with me, right? Well, you're good.
Good. I was watching that one.
That's the idea.
Yeah. Okay,
The
good.
thing is,
that's exactly.
remember we talked about that? When we go into patty cake mode, anybody's game. But that's why it's fun. When the bone break stuff comes out, when the game enders come out, everything shifts, and that's okay. You know, that's the fun part about it, because we can always be challenged. When you bring your strike, I stop it, right? If you pull straight away, I don't know where you've gone. If you keep this and do it slowly, I can track. What do? We track, right? Change something. Hinge. Right. I can't track it that fast. I know you're going to, but if you hinge and strike, and it's not pulling away and striking, because why? You've increased your distance from the strike to hit. Just drop. And there's your cover. big on the replacement. Very, very big. Because nature loves the void. Bad guys love it too. You fill it, right? You fill the void. Okay, so we're looking at, let's stop. There's my hinge. I can hinge here to the extent of the shoulder. Right? Watch my hips. Okay? And from here, you can also use that. Oh, what's up with that? Back in the 10 show. Everything's connected to everything. You can oversimplify it ad nauseum, but if you don't simplify it as some form of a connection between things, you're compartmentalizing your training. And unless you have a fighter that's going to say, okay, I'm really compartmentalized for doing this today when we fight, you don't want to do that. You got to open it up.
It's got to feed back into the same
Yes.
concept.
It's a nexus, it's a web, so to speak. I like the theory of the spider web. If you flick this little tiny thread here, the vibration goes through the entire web. It may not have a large connection, but it's going to signal somehow, some way to the rest of the web. And if you know it hits this area, you have someone, because if you've trained it and you understand, and you build an understanding of the connection of the things, of your items, of your whole lexicon, you know why it's associated. That translates to this. Not this. This, the reflex. Anything else on the warm-up?
Let's see here. Uh-oh. Oh, shit. Oh. Well, it's still going.
Let's see what it
21:48.
looks like.